Better Life. Fabulous, fabulous.
Thank you.
Demian Bichir's Oscar nod was a big surprise. What was your reaction?
It wasn't a surprise to me. I'll tell you why, because his performance is that special. But also because both Demian and I had devoted ourselves to getting the message out about the film, not just because of his performance, but because of what it represented. The 11 million people in this country who worked so hard for us and for themselves, but who strengthen the country, not weaken it, and who are maligned in the political arena every day. So we knew we were going to push hard. To be honest, it was a bit of a surprise. All of these big names, for Demian to be with them just makes me feel so good.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you so much for the work you're doing, and very excited about it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thanks.
Can you tell me what was the first thought that went through your mind when you found out you were nominated for an Academy Award?
Yeah, Stephanie called me from Los Angeles because I was in Mexico. I'm doing a theater play, and she called me, and I thought it was part of a fever that I had when I went to bed because I was feeling bad the night before. I thought I was hallucinating, but then it was real. Yeah.
So I'm so proud of him. I was just crying and so proud. So proud of him. I can't even describe it.
It's
exciting. It was really exciting.
Yeah.
Well, great film. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The main message.
Your role as Lisbeth was so physical, and your movements were so disciplined. What did you do to train for that?
There was a lot of physical training that went into it. I had to learn how to ride the motorcycle. I did kickboxing, computer training, dialect training, stuff like that.
Did you do a lot of your own stunts?
Yeah, I did. I mean, what do you mean, the motorcycle?
Well, probably not the motor, but I mean, in other words,
There's a lot of the motorcycle riding that I was unable to do. Is far too dangerous, but everything else was me.
Wow, it was incredible. Now, Lisbeth was so dark. Were you able to shed that persona fairly easy, or did she stay with you?
I don't know. I don't really think about it like that. It was hard to come off of the experience because it was a very long, intense experience, and it's hard to work with people so closely for over a year, and then you leave that. That part of it's hard.
Well, good luck and congratulations on everything. Hello, Andy.
Hey there.
Hi, nice to meet you. Brilliantly playing two iconic primate roles, of course, King Kong and now Caesar. What did you do to prepare yourself for that?
Well, first of all, it was very, those two roles are so sort of poles apart in terms of the primates that they are. When I was working on King Kong, unlike the original 1933 version, I wanted to make Kong much more gorilla-like. In the 1933 original, he was very much more like a monster because people's understanding of gorillas at the time was very limited. But in 2005, when we made Kong, it was important to we're so familiar now with knowing how gorillas behave, and so I wanted to honour that.
You bring so much humanity to the role.
It's essentially about finding character and essentially about saying, well, look, okay, so I'm playing a gorilla, but gorillas are as diverse and as idiosyncratic and different as human beings are, and the same with chimpanzees, and especially in the case like Caesar, who is not only is he an intelligent chimpanzee, but he also has an enhanced intelligence because he's the recipient of this drug test. So whereas Kong was like a lonely, very almost like an old out of condition boxer, Caesar is like a very bright young child who has, he's like a prodigy child, really.
Absolutely. Well, it was brilliant. You brought so much humanity to the roles. Thank you. You're wonderful, wonderful. On a serious note, you're so young, and the role in The Descendants was so serious. How were you able to prepare? What did you go within yourself, and what place did you find to be able to portray that?
Honestly, it's all in the writing. For me, as an actor, I never approach acting by trying to be a specific character. I don't do a lot of history or homework on the character. I kind of go into it, and I try to let the words affect my performance. You know, I think that's when you get the best performances, when you show up and you have your lines memorized and you authentically listen to what the other actor is saying, and through those words you let them affect you.
And of course, what everybody always wants to know, what was it like working with George Clooney?
He's amazing. He's a superhuman. He's the most philanthropic person I know, the most inspiring person I know, and also the most brilliant. The amount of wit that man's brain contains is out of control.
Very generous actor?
Oh, an incredibly generous actor. Regardless of whether the camera was on him or on me or on the tree, he was always there and always present and always giving it his all. He was never in his trailer, always on time, always had his lines memorized, playing basketball with the local crew members, or yeah, he went out of his way to make sure everyone felt comfortable, and that is a rarity and a gift, and I love him so much. He's an amazing human being.
You were absolutely fabulous. Absolutely loved the film, and you were brilliant. So,
God.
love you. Love you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and good luck, and congratulations on tonight.
Thank you so much.
I love the awkward applause break when I go into that door, and then I go in the little hall. There's a part of your mind, don't you want me to come out in a totally different outfit, like when I go in the one door, and then somehow I come out in a dress, and I'm like, hi, Santa Barbara, Virtuoso, like that.
Welcome to one of the most exciting nights in the film festival. I've been looking forward to this evening for weeks. I need to thank our presenting sponsor, lynda.com, for making the whole festival possible. And tonight's Virtuoso Award is sponsored by Stella Artois. All of the performers tonight, Demian, Bichir, Patton, Oswalt, Woodley, Melissa McCarthy, Andy Serkis, and Rooney have made incredible music on their own. But tonight, all of them together, we're going to see a symphony. Please welcome our moderator for the evening, a great friend of the film festival. He's also the senior writer for Entertainment Weekly and the official Oscar greeter on the red carpet, Dave Carter.
Thank you, Roger, and thank you, everybody. It is an absolute pleasure to be back here helping with the Virtuosos panel for the second year, and I'm very excited that we've graduated to the Arlington Theater. This is perhaps the most beautiful theater I've ever seen in my life. Now, the 6 people that we're honoring tonight, some of them have been nominated for Critics' Choice Awards, some of them have been nominated for Golden Globes this year, some have been nominated for Screen Actors Guild Awards, some have been nominated for Oscars. But there's only one awards body that had the vision, intelligence, and foresight to honor all 6 of them, and that is the Santa Barbara International Film Festival Virtuosos Award. So I congratulate Roger Durling and everybody involved with the festival for having the wisdom to honor them all. It is my pleasure to reintroduce our honorees for tonight, Demian Bichir, Rooney, Patton, Oswalt, Andy Serkis, and Shailene Woodley. So I feel like one theme of the evening that's come up a couple of times is to what extent the characters that you all have played in these films are close to you in some ways or completely foreign to you in some ways? In a general sense, as actors, is there one way that's a little bit easier or one way that's a little scarier when it comes to finding roles that are similar to you or different from you?
Ladies first, I would say. I don't know. I think it's when I don't know what to do with character when I say yes to it. When I find it far away from whatever I am or the way I feel or think, it's when it's more attractive. And but Carlos Galindo and I have a lot of common. We are decent people. We are hardworking, decent people.
What about the rest of you?
As the third hot woman up here, I would like to say that, you know, it was weird. The thing about Matt, for me, was that was very similar was his use of, you know, obviously when he's angry or sad, make a joke, try to lighten the situation. But the thing that, you know, with me, comedy was always a way to motivate me to maybe change my situation, whereas I had to get sort of used to him using comedy to justify his situation, or using his jokes almost as and that's why I don't have to change at all. Like, it was a way to stop his own inertia, I think, which is that's weirdly sort of alien to me. So, and it was a very fine line, because I do use that just to a different end, I guess. That was the thing for me.
Rooney, do you find that you gravitate towards characters that are quite different? In the case of Lisbeth, let's say.
I don't think I really think about it in terms of if the person is different from myself. I think for myself, it probably is easier to play a character who's much different, with an accent, who looks different, who walks different. I find that much more enjoyable, but at the same time, I felt like Salander was very familiar to me. Like, she wasn't, like, we did have a lot in common. So I think a little bit of both is good.
And you too?
I like to choose characters that are close to myself because I like to be very minimal in my approach to I think the thing is, I think we would all probably say that there are times in your life where you actually want to investigate yourself and put more of yourself up on the screen, and there are times in your life where you actually, by having a character that's much further away, you amplify something, or you're reaching for something that enables you to say something more about the human condition that you wouldn't necessarily have thought by just drawing from your own personal experience. And I think that's you know, they're both valid, they're all valid, and you know, I think any actors worth their salt would want to have a go at all of those things.
I generally am a very annoyingly positive person in real life, and I think that that might have something to do with my gravitation towards angry human beings on screen. I don't know, I love playing darker roles or roles with meat. I feel very comfortable in that environment. I don't know why, I don't know what that says about me, but yeah, I really enjoy doing complicated characters.
So for the four of you that did not play Caesar, could yeah, that was my math joke. Could any of the four of you see yourself doing a performance capture role like Andy has done? And if so, what would you like to play?
The future of the performance capture world rests on your
really? Yeah. Hey, I wonder if I'm actually just thought of this. I wonder if there's ever going to be a performance capture creation, like maybe some kind of beast or some non-human thing that is actually played by two actors playing. Will that ever? Has that happened, or do you think that'll happen?
It will now. I mean, no. The thing is that's a really good point. I mean, at what point? What is great about performance capture is it actually opens up the question: what is acting? You know, I mean, is radio acting? If you act a part out on radio, are you any less in contact with the soul of that character and the way of expressing that? No, definitely not. If you're on stage, no. I mean, it's just, you know, so it's sort of, I mean, I think if you are playing a character that, you know, has four legs and it needs someone to puppeteer the back legs, and you're providing the facial capture, you know, for that role, that is, you're still providing the personality, the intention, the soul of that character. You know,
you have to be aware of the other person, and they have to be very aware of you, and you have to create a whole personality. That's really cool.
Do you want to try it?
Oh, who am I? I would want to play Rooney Mara. I would have motion capture and just be Rooney Mara, just for a month, please.
What would that look like?
It would look like the fat boy with the Daryl Dragon tattoo is what it would look like. It would not be pretty. It would be sad.
So no long lost dreams on the part of any of the others of you? Something you're dying to play that you just need the visual effects people to help out with?
I think a monkey or anything would be pretty cool.
Well, actually, there is another apes movie coming along.
Could be a good break from this then. Is there a movie or a performance that you all saw this year, a role that you saw and said, I wish I had gotten a chance to play that, it was such a great role?
Not a role, but you said a movie or a role. So I mean, I saw the movie The Beginners, and I didn't wish that I could be in it because there wouldn't have been a role for me, but I wish that it never ended. I took that movie with me. I was so affected by it.
Christopher Plummer was actually honored here at the Santa Barbara Film Festival just this week. Really? Yeah.
I'm sure Tony was here.
What else particularly did you offer this year? I love it.
There's a fantastic British film called Tyrannosaur, which is directed by Patton, and it's an amazing film. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, but it's one of the most powerful movies I've seen, so I would definitely recommend going to see it. It's really searing, very, very, very dark story.
The opening scene is very hard to get through.
Yeah.
If you see it, you should see it. It's great, but just get ready for the opening scene. And then it's a little bit better.
I think a lot of people will have trouble. It's one of my favorites of the year, but you need to get past the first 5 minutes with there's a dog. Anyway, it's a great film. Peter Mullen and Ian Holman. What else?
I thought Martha Marlene was incredible, especially John Hawkes' performance in that. I mean, that's, weirdly enough, that is one of the most accurate portrayals I've ever seen of Charles Manson on screen without it being Charles Manson, of understanding how somebody like that could just control different people. And then what's really eerie is that Elizabeth's character doesn't really have a horrible home life. She's not some broken person running. It's just that he is so terrifying that I just thought that role was really amazing. It was great.
There's a wonderful film called A Separation. If you see it out there, go see it because it's beautiful. It's so well written and the acting is amazing. And it's one of those films that you would love to be a part of.
That's the Iranian film that's nominated for Best Foreign Language Film at the Oscars this year. Rooney? What'd you love?
Shipwreck. Want to play Simon, right?
I won't make you.
I don't know, I feel like I love all the movies that everyone's already talked about. Drive.
think a lot of people would be very surprised to hear how kind of grueling, for lack of a better word, the awards campaign process is. It's not just you show up at the Golden Globes and you show up at one screening and then you're done. I mean, it's night after night, week after week. There's tons of events that go to it, but it's fun. What would you say for each of you was kind of the highlight of this entire process? Once the movie was done and you did all of the events, what's one thing that you're going to take with you and think, that was pretty great?
I think going out there and talking to different audiences and having those Q&As, that's always really interesting. And then Chris and I had the chance to take the film to Washington. And we actually had a chance to go to the Capitol building and talk to a couple of senators that were pushing the immigration reform really strongly, and the DREAM Act. And then we had a chance to talk to Cecilia Munoz at the White House, who's in charge of immigration issues. And just to witness that how much film, 2 hours sitting down in front of the screen can change everyone's perspective towards an issue such as this, which is really important and is going on as we speak everywhere. That was the movie part of all this.
I don't know, you know, we worked so hard on this movie, and I think just the fact that people recognize that and admire the work, and people's response has been so great. I think that's been the best part and the most rewarding.
I was going to say meeting Lee Majors, but after what Demian said, that's stupid. I don't know what the hell I met him at a party. I was so excited. I'm like, oh my God, dude, you were like the sixth. I mean, I'm a big film nerd, so you go to these parties and like Catherine O'Hara's there, and you talk to her for an hour and nerd out about SCTV, and then, you know, Paul Schrader's there, and you get to talk to people that meant something to you growing up about their work and about their films. Like, that to me has been the best part of the process.
The whole process has been mind-blowingly incredible. I don't know if I can pinpoint one. Alexander and I got to go to Dubai for the film festival out there, and yeah, it was amazing to experience that world, that part of the world. I had never been over there, and we went to Abu Dhabi, which is the capital, and we went sand dune bashing, which is where you go on sand dunes in a car and you could possibly die, but we did it anyway. That was probably the best experience.
And you finish us off.
I think one of the Golden Globe Awards, Morgan Freeman's son Alfonso came running up to me and he said, "You Andy Serkis?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely. Come with me." And he dragged me kind of across into the pits where all the top guys are, you know, all the big guys, they're all sitting in the pit. And he dragged me all the way to the front to meet Morgan. And so he drags me up to Morgan, and Alfonso goes, "Dad, this is Andy Serkis. This is Andy Serkis." And Morgan just looked at me and he went, "And what do you do?"
You arrived. Well, I thank all five of you for being here, but now it is time for you all to actually accept your Virtuoso awards. And to present the awards to you, I'm very excited to have with us an Academy Award nominated writer and director whose most recent film happens to be A Better Life. So please welcome Chris Weitz.
as I see all of you, I just think that they probably went down the list. Rupert Wyatt, no, he's not going to do it. Alexander Payne didn't call him back. And, Jason Redman, no. Fincher, no. Chris will do it. Just to show how desperate for attention I am, just to bask in your glory. Today is actually my anniversary. My lovely wife, Mercedes, is out there, and thank you for coming to San Francisco. So, I'm here to present the SBIFFs. Do they have a name? The Barbies? Actually, I should first thank you, Dave. Brilliant moderation. And of course, the entire festival up to and including Roger Derling, have done an extraordinary job. So the first Virtuoso award goes to mi carnal, mi hermano, my good friend, compañero, of whom I am so proud and to whom I am so grateful, Demian Bichir. One of the cool things that I get to do every once in a while, being a writer-director, is I can call somebody's agent and say, hey, I have an idea and I'd like to run it past somebody. And I've gotten to know Patton in the last year. And it's been a wonderful experience. He's a great guy. Some people think he's funny. I do too, and I think if I were clever, I would say something about tragedy and comedy at this point in time. But I'll just say that Patton clearly is able to translate comedy into pathos in a way that really came through especially strongly this year in Young Adult, which was an amazing film. And an amazing performance. The third Virtuoso award of the day goes to Patton Oswalt. Shailene Woodley. I think it's difficult to be a teenager. It's actually more difficult to portray one, and to portray a teenager in an accurate light, which is to say they are often extremely, extremely difficult. But at the same time, have all the sterling qualities that they had as a child and they will have as an adult. They just go subterranean for a while. And to capture that sort of thing on film is not easy, not at all, to portray that kind of thing. And this was another exceptional performance of the year. A Virtuoso award goes to Miss Shailene Woodley. Andy Serkis is not just an actor, he's actually a problem. Which is to say that people who grew up making films before motion capture don't really know how to deal with the implications of his extraordinary talent, which raise what a lot of people would rather see as something mechanical to the level of art. I think that everyone's going to get up to speed with him soon enough, and I'm really glad that this is one of the opportunities where we take time to stop and realize that. Of course, he is a stage and film actor in his own right as well, aside from his roles as various troglodytic characters. But he is a good thing in film, and I've so enjoyed his performances in Rise of the Planet of the Apes and many other films. Virtuoso award goes to Andy Serkis. And most of McCarthy's very funny. Needless to say, it's a great shame Melissa McCarthy isn't here. Her performance was stunning. This was a great year for comedy in film. It was a great year for women in comedy and film. And she exemplifies how I think it was Pauline Kael who said that the best way to make an audience like a character is for the character to make them laugh. And how winning a character, even a very strange one, can be if she makes us laugh. And although she's not here, let us give a ghostly round of applause, a laryngitis-like one.